All right, welcome back. Show number 4 of Success
And
Money
you're still
Marriage.
here.
You're still. I decided I had nowhere to go.
My shoes didn't
no
fit.
one would take me.
My shoes didn't
Well, you
fit.
know, I said I got a little money stashed away. It was actually $37, which I got a bus ticket to Albany, Georgia. That's as far as
Yeah.
I could go. I didn't know what I would do in Albany, Georgia. What
Well,
do you do
you
in
know,
Albany? What do you even do? Does anyone live in Albany, Georgia? I don't know.
Sweetheart, I'm happy to fund that for you.
Oh, really? You got that kind of cash?
I will. If you're
I got
ready,
$37.
if
I'm
you're
looking for
ready
money.
to
I got a
run,
GoFundMe set up
they
already.
don't know what we're doing.
All right,
We're
so-
starting.
all right.
Introduce yourself.
All right, so I had a whole introduction for the show
Sorry.
that you kind of just
Sorry.
mowed me over, which is another topic. But so welcome back to Success Money Marriage Podcast. I'm Steve Siebold.
I'm Dawn Siebold.
All right. You're like, I'm Don Siebold. So today we want to talk about.
Reminds me of that picture on our nightstand with me when I was like 4 years old.
Exactly. Yeah, here's big smile.
That's another story. Go ahead.
Exactly. So we want to talk about money because this is probably the number one thing that couples fight over, and so with one of our businesses is teaching companies, organizations, churches, schools, et cetera, how money works, the basics of personal finance. I have a book out co-authored with Tom Matthews called How Money Works. Stop being a sucker. We should have really brought the book to show him. But,
You have your shirt on.
But this is basically the logo. I forgot I have my shirt on. I'm like a walking billboard for the book. But it's the top selling personal finance book since 2020.
I know, that's
500,000
awesome.
copies
Congratulations.
sold. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. But we teach the basics of personal finance. So we talk about money all the time to other groups. But
Right.
when we talk about it as a couple that run businesses together, multiple businesses together, we're trying to fund all the businesses, talk about cash flow, talk about sales, talk about, all the things, everything related to money. That's probably the biggest challenge, don't you think couples will have?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not trying to plug your book, but for anybody that's really interested, I would definitely read How Rich People Think.
Plug it. I need the money.
How
Plug
rich
the book.
people- so do I.
Go to
Yeah.
Amazon and buy the book. I need the cash.
No, but
I
I
got
think-
$37 as my getaway money from you, and that's all I got. So if we can sell some books here, I might be able to get past Albany.
On a serious note, I think
serious.
it's really a good idea to understand where the mindset is on how you think about money with your partner or your spouse before getting into business together. Because when we started the business together, I was at such a different level of how I thought about how money. I really came from fear and scarcity.
Fear and scarcity.
And you definitely came from abundance. So he wanted to spend it and I wanted to save it.
And let me give you the first example we had. This is when we first got married.
No, please don't do that.
Yeah, this is we're
God.
20 years old, whatever. Yeah,
You're
20,
desperate
21.
for content
No, this is just
Okay.
true, Don. The truth comes out eventually, Don. This is the way it works. The truth comes out.
All right.
I don't know if they can see Lou. This is Lou, the rescue dog, or one of our rescue dogs from Puerto Rico. She had to be in the
They
podcast
can't see
studio.
her.
Well, they might be able to see her somewhere.
She's going to jump up pretty soon.
Anyway, this is Lou if you see her. She refused to stay by the door. So, but anyway, so here's the deal. I was teaching. I just come off a tennis tour, and I was teaching. And in tennis, you have ball hoppers. So basically, it's a basket that, if you don't know, that picks up the balls. You press the hopper down. It's a basket. You press it down. It puts the ball under the metal, the steel.
Okay, they can just Google what a hopper is.
Yeah, well, ball hopper, yeah. So anyway, it holds like 75 tennis balls. Okay, so I go to Kmart or Walmart. No, it's probably Kmart. And back in then, Walmart. Well, Walmart's around. But anyway, I went to Kmart and I bought a ton of 75 balls, so which is 25 cans. And so I'm in our apartment, our tiny little apartment we had back then, and I'm undoing the cans. I'm putting them in the ball hopper. And Dawn comes in and she goes, what do you do with all those tennis balls? And I said, well, I got to teach lessons. I mean, that's what I'm doing. She goes, do you need all those? You have a whole basket to teach a lesson? Can't you just use 3 or 4 balls and then just pick them up? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a tennis pro. I need a hopper of balls to teach lessons. That's not how it works. She's like, well, how much do those balls cost? Really? Seriously? I've never let her forget it. Never let her forget it. That's not fighting fair, actually. That's an unfair fight.
That was an unfair
Bringing up
fight.
the tennis ball.
But I didn't know, and I think that's one of the things that you do have to have those discussions with, is
So can't you just say you were wrong? Can't you just admit
I was totally wrong.
150 years
I was
later,
totally
you can't just
wrong.
admit it. Dinosaurs roamed the earth when this happened.
Be a winner. Call Steve.
This is Reagan's first administration.
Be a winner. Call Steve. $12 an hour for a tennis
That's
lesson.
my business card. I can't afford the balls.
Only
to put in
take
the
us
hopper.
4 months to pay the balls off.
Yeah, that's true.
That might be why I had a problem with
That's
it.
probably true. Yeah, well, I'll cop to that.
But
yeah.
no, I mean, I had no idea. I had no idea how much you need. I didn't. And I was completely wrong, of course. But I do think you need to have that discussion because
Now you got a tennis court back in your backyard, so I guess it worked. You're welcome.
Yeah, I would be pissed if my pro came out with 3 tennis balls. I'd be like, get the hell out of here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And how much do we pay for your tennis lessons all over the place? That's another thing.
So, but I do. I think you should have that conversation because I definitely come from fear and scarcity when it comes to money. And you definitely come more from abundance. And I would pick up How Rich People Think because that book is, I mean, How Rich People Think is how Steve thinks like the rich and I think like the middle class.
Well, you've changed over the years.
I have changed and I still come from that fear and scarcity. We'll get halfway through a project and I'm like, are we sure we're going to make it? I mean, I would start second guessing. And so I definitely, I think, kind of come to some sort of agreement and understand how you think because I know I think it's really super important if the person that you're in business with or you're married to has a very different idea how money should be spent.
Well, I think that's the thing is that if you've got different, one person's a spender, one person's a saver,
right.
One person really likes to spend money and kind of gets some kind of thrill out of that, and the other person hoards money, and in the extreme anyway. That I think you have to know there's different styles. I mean, our styles have been, just one couple, but you're like you said, you're probably more conservative. I'm certainly conservative with money. There's no question about that. But you're probably even more conservative. Well, not compared to you, maybe, but
should we check our Amazon? Let's just go ahead and check our Amazon.
Oh, those are books. I buy books. I'm a writer. I have to have books.
You're conservative.
I buy books. They're
Amazon delivers to our door every day.
Yeah, and some of them are your tennis shoes. And other things you drink when you drink. You order when you're drinking wine on Amazon. Because I see those. You have just as many boxes from Amazon as I do.
We're gonna start, okay, y'all, we're going to start counting them.
Pre-pandemic.
Okay, I challenge you. We're gonna count them in the next.
Right now, I'm a little heavy on the boxes. I'll admit that.
Okay,
right now, I'm a little heavy.
See, when the truth comes out.
I got some bookcases. I got some new bookcases in my office I have to fill up.
That's why I have spreadsheets where I document things like that.
Jeez, yeah, you do. You are a documenter, yeah. But I think you have to know. You have to know the person, your partner's habits, and then you kind of have to negotiate between the two, right?
I don't know. I don't know how other couples do it. I mean, I have a lot of girlfriends of mine that have a separate checking account, and the guys have separate credit cards. So if that keeps peace in the relationship, I think that's perfectly okay. And no, you cannot have it.
Okay.
Can't have a separate credit card.
That's why you don't have your dog in the podcast studio, Don.
Yeah.
Now she's all upset. Okay. Yeah. Now we got to deal with Lou. Lou, relax. It's okay.
See, we're on the air.
Oh, we're on the air. Sorry. It's true though. I mean, I think that you have to know your partner's style and tolerance and all that, and then you have to sort of negotiate together because otherwise you're going to be fighting about money all the time, even if you have a lot of money. Because I think that we always thought when we didn't have when we were kind of just getting started that. If you had double the money or something, right. I remember when I was making $40,000 a year, and I thought if I ever made 80,
oh my gosh, what would we do with all that money? I'd
be the richest person. What the hell would I do with all that money?
We wouldn't be able to spend it,
right? And then you make millions of dollars, and you realize that you can spend millions of dollars with one check or one credit card or one authorization or whatever. It's really easy to spend it. So you don't really, you haven't changed. The money has changed. The resources have changed that you have access to, but you haven't changed necessarily. So I think that as a couple, that you have to navigate that. Don't you agree? I
don't think you have a choice. I don't.
No,
and especially if you have children, how much do you spend? I mean, that opens up another can of worms.
Dealing with you is enough. Children, forget it. You and Lou and Luna, tuna. That's all I can handle.
Trying to think of something nice to say because I remember Mother.
Don't make us edit it out.
You can't say something nice. Don't say it at all. So I'm going to be quiet for a minute.
Okay, you do a timeout right now. You're out.
Obviously, you're going to have to work this out.
Yeah,
and I don't know what that means. I think for each couple, it's a little different. Neither one of us are extraordinary, huge spendthrifts, and most of the things that I buy, I need. Maybe not the tennis shoes, and most of the things you buy, you need.
Yeah.
So we're not extravagant. I don't need $1,000 purse and you don't need real expensive things either. But if you're dating someone that is high maintenance, and it could be a man or a woman, it doesn't. I know that typically goes for the woman, if she's a high maintenance. And if they are high maintenance, you guys accept it.
Or if you're engaged to someone, let's say, or you think you're going to live together, you're going to be together as business partners,
right?
Then you might want to look at
or not even business partners, just being married. I mean, usually typically when you're dating someone, it's not going to get any better. So I have friends that are single now at our age, and if a guy's too cheap to take her out to dinner, then It's not going to get better when you get married.
Yeah,
when it comes to money, people are usually the same, and so just keep that in mind. If you're dating a gal that's high maintenance and has to be taken out all the time and has to have gifts every month or so, then it doesn't usually change when you get married.
Yeah, but wait, is she like a supermodel? Like she's crazy hot?
Yeah, Steven, she's crazy hot.
Oh, you might want to reconsider it then. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not saying.
I married a supermodel. I get it.
Yeah,
that's why I brought it up.
But seriously, I'm not saying reconsider. I'm just saying consider that.
Now, a senior supermodel, I would say.
Okay, we're trying to have a conversation.
In a good way.
So like I'm saying, if it's somebody that you're dating that's like that, just consider that it's going to be like that forever. And, I'm not saying reconsider. I'm saying stay with them if it's okay with you, but reconcile it. Mentally reconcile it, physically reconcile it with your checking account or banking account. But and then it could go the opposite. For years, when Steve and I first started making money, I couldn't spend a dime. I was so a little freaked out because I'd never had money growing up. And when the success started coming, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want to tell my family because I didn't feel like they would accept me as much because I kind of grew up with this mindset that, if you're poor and broke, what's the saying? Proud but poor type of,
poor but proud.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. But my point is that when we first started making money and we were able to pay our bills and had money in the bank and started doing investments in real estate, it was very difficult for me because I still had that mindset of scarcity. Like, let's save every bit of it because in case something were to happen, we're going to need the money.
You latched onto those country clubs pretty quick. Well, you didn't take much time doing that.
I did. But you remember the Bob Proctor story.
Golf memberships, tennis memberships, with the Boca Resort. Country clubs all over the South. Anyway, that's on our show probably. But I get your gist.
This is unfair fighting right here. You're bringing up stuff from the past. It's unfair.
You fit into it. You started to get your groove on pretty quick.
No, I did for sure. I'm just saying if it is important, and obviously the person's important to you, when you're dating, it's probably going to get, it's not going to change. It's
part of probably what you need to look at. It's probably something like we talk about how money works, how they don't teach how money works in school. We talk about that every presentation we get, which is all the time. And this is probably something that they should teach in school.
Absolutely.
As well. Like, what's the disparity between you and the person you're considering spending your life with in terms of money? Because that's going to be probably the number one. And of course, most people never have that much money. So they're going to probably have that as a big argument. So can they reconcile, as you said, can they reconcile it?
Right.
And then I would say just to the guys, if she's a supermodel, just get a side job. Just get anything you have to do to pay the bills. And because if she's a supermodel, it's probably going to be worth delivering pizzas or Uber or whatever you have to do to pay the extra stuff she needs for the.
Okay, you said on live TV yesterday, side hustle. It's side gig.
Side hustle.
It's side gig.
It's side. Some people say a side hustle.
You said on national TV in the LA, was it New York station?
KTLA, Los Angeles.
You said side hustle. It's a side gig.
Side hustle and side gig.
Hunter.
Stop going to Hunter for
support. For advice.
No, that's unfair fighting, just like we've been talking about.
I was
keep breaking the rules. We're supposed to be experts at this.
He's 40 years younger.
People are not going to listen to us.
He's 40 years younger.
Jobs.
No. Oh, no. All right, no.
Oh, that was it right there. That caught your attention, didn't it? That was the only thing that caught her attention.
I never heard side hustle. And when you said it the other night at the live presentation, everyone was giggling.
No, side hustle.
The young people were giggling.
I'm telling you, it's a thing.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
All right.
I'm very hip. I'm out there.
Okay.
I'm out there on the front lines.
I got it.
As a hipster.
I didn't know that.
Kind of hip.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't brag about it. I don't brag about it.
Good to know. Super cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
All right, so to wrap this up.
I just think that please have a discussion. And understand where each other's coming from. I would read How Rich People Think and identify who you are, because I did not know I struggled with making money. It wasn't when we weren't making money, I was okay because that's how I kind of grew up. But when we started making money, I had trouble spending it. And in the beginning, I really wanted to hold on to all of it and came from scarcity. And like Steve said, I quickly learned how to join country clubs and spend it. But I still have that mindset. We get $10 and I want to save $9.
I remember. No, on a serious note, I remember like when we were joining Boca Resort, which is one of the fanciest clubs in the country, in Boca Raton, Florida. And I remember telling you how much it cost. I won't even say it, but it was a lot. And you get nothing for it. You get to walk in the door and be a member. That's everything else.
You get to spend extra money buying dinners and drinks.
Their two favorite words, a la carte. Yeah, and it's the a la carte prices are stupid.
You get to pay overpriced for meals.
Oh yeah, it was like 20 years ago. It was like $9 for a Coke that was this big. In your defense, I would say that when I presented those opportunities, or when you presented it sometimes with the country clubs we belong to around the country, around the Southeast, you were like, how much? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Because most of them, it was just a lot of money. But I think that to your point, on a serious note, you don't change too much. I mean, I realized when I wrote How Rich People Think, it was based on years and years of interviews with self-made millionaires. And I realized how scarcity-based, even though it's probably less than you had because you came from a tougher background than I did growing up with money. Maybe that's why. I realized because that's why I didn't really have any money, because I was thinking like the middle class.
Oh yeah.
And the world class don't think like that. In terms of rich people, don't think like that. They think in a higher. They use money as a resource. They just see it as a tool.
Right.
It has no meaning. I think the middle class thinks money, and I thought the same thing. They think it means something. That if you have money, you're smarter, you're better, you're sexier, you're whatever.
Freer.
And it's BS. It's just a resource. It means not. It's like paper towels, except it's more important. But it means nothing. It's just a medium of exchange. It doesn't mean you're any better, smarter, or anything like that. And so I think there's a lot of associations with money in terms of status and people self-esteem. Maybe people kind of tie their self-esteem to it sometimes, and it really has nothing to do with any of those things.
No, but it's
just
it's hard to change.
It is hard to change.
I mean, if you're thinking that again, if you're dating the high maintenance supermodel, chances are she's not going to change.
Yeah, but she's hot.
I'm
she's
okay with
hot.
that. I'm okay with that. I'm just saying. I think that's great. I'm just saying she's probably not going to change.
Right? Do you know one that's interested in me? You're looking at me like a supermodel that's interested in me. That's asking about me lately or something.
It might be another session.
Because don't hold back on a phone number and email address.
I would never. I would support that too.
Okay, yeah. You're trying to get rid of me, I think. I really get that feeling.
No.
No, you're stuck. You're stuck with me. I got nowhere to go. All right, guys. Well, think about the money thing. And again, I think Dawn makes the point that maybe whether you're dating, you're engaged, you're married, whatever, look at that disparity. Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a person that's more scarcity based, 1 being a person that is really, really in abundance in terms of money, maybe even too far because they spend too much. Where, what's your number? What's your spouse's number? Or your person you're dating or living with or whatever, and then see if there's a way. If she's a 1 and you're a 10, or vice versa. Oof.
Well,
that's gonna be tough,
either. I mean, just analyze it, and then just say, what, I'm willing to let that go.
But it's got to be. It almost would have to be part of the discussion.
Absolutely.
If you're going to mix your counts, if you're going to live together, and get married, wouldn't you say? Because if you're way apart, you're going to fight.
You're going to fight.
Yeah. We're not that far apart with it, and I think we've been able to navigate for the most part. Obviously, we've fought about it, but not.
Well, it's easier for us.
We fought more about other things.
It's easier for us too because we've been married since we were 20. I mean, so we kind of grew with making money together.
We had zero money. Literally, just nothing.
Right. We spent it all on Amway products. We have a lot of SA8 in the garage.
It's concentrated.
Wants some,
I still have the same box from 1984, and I'm still using it. It's good stuff. All right, guys. Well, it's something to think about. Anyway, we appreciate you joining us, and join us hopefully for chapter 5 or show number chapter 5. I'm writing a book here. Yeah, show number 5 when we talk about living your lives together, but then also having separate interests and that type of thing, and how that can help bring you together as a couple. So hopefully you'll join us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.